I decided to pop on a few minutes early this morning, so now I know just from showing up early who's actually subscribed and getting notifications. So I might have tricked y'all this morning. So now whoever's here in the chat first, I know that you are getting my notifications. So figured I'd run a little test this morning. So I don't even know if anybody's going to show up early or if people just have, why is my hair trying to fall on my face? If people just have their schedule set for 10 o'clock exactly. So we'll see. We'll see who's here. Oh, I see someone. Josh, hello. This is my first live. Really excited. I'm excited to have you here. Welcome. I'm glad that you can join us. You are the first one in here this morning because, like I said, I'm a few minutes early. So I'm touched that you are subscribed and stuff. Oh my gosh, Logan, it's your first too. Love it. Yay for newbies. Stephen says, where are your cat ears? I don't need them during streams because I don't do anything that requires audio on the reverse end. Hi, Victor. Josh says, you've helped me to get through a lot of my past issues. Thank you for that. Mwah. Well, you know what? I might have empowered you, but you were the one fighting, so I'm proud of you. Before we really get started, I just want to get some housekeeping out of the way. As usual, I am not a mental health professional yet, so any insights that I give are just based on my experiences and the experiences of the clients that I've worked with, friends I've talked to, or just people that I've interacted with. So if you are having a mental health crisis, please get the help that you deserve. There are so many options, be it the suicide hotline or therapy or just reaching out to a loved one. There's so many options. You can talk to us here, but make sure that you're getting the help that you deserve. It can get kind of crazy here in the chat, so I might not see every single message. I apologize for that. If there's a message you really want me to see, make sure you use that super chat or super sticker function. Every single dime of that goes toward my mental health outreach, and my goal is $250 per stream. So my goal is to raise $250 in pledges today for my mental health outreach and for my projects. I'm going to share some good news. I always like to start with a good news story, so I'm going to share that in a minute. Of course, we'll get to the snaps. But how's everyone doing this morning on this beautiful Friday? I am loving the weather here in Arizona. This is kind of my favorite time of year because it's just so perfect to be outside and do all of those activities that a few months from now are not going to be available. So I know that's not possible for everyone in the country right now, but I am grateful that I have that opportunity. Vampire Bill says, hi from Sweden. Hope you all are doing well. Hello, hello. I hope you're doing amazing as well. Hi, Justin. Josh says, also just got a new job. Super excited to start tomorrow. Yay. I actually just got a new job as well and started school kind of right at the same time. So there've been a lot of shifts, a lot of changes, and a lot more obligations, responsibilities. So it's been kind of a shift, but mostly good. I'm kind of feeling the weight of it a little bit, but I mean, that's to be expected, right? Because my one class has 8 hours of studying and homework a week. It's absolutely insane. It's statistics, and I'm not a math whiz, but she told us in the beginning, going through the syllabus, expect about 8 hours of homework and studying each week. And I'm not going to lie, it's intimidating, but bring it on, statistics, bring it on. I filmed a vlog that I'm going to be posting here about my first day because it was really exciting and I wanted to show you guys what I am utilizing and some of the tips and tricks that I had. So I will be posting that here soon, just a little sneak peek. Steve Coronado says, Amanda, hope you are well today. Hello, everyone. Hello, Steve. Hello, Lace. I never know exactly how to say that. Victor says, my band and I play our first concert tonight. Yay! David, you started early. You caught me. I need to sip my... Oh. So also, I had been getting some questions in regards to the Magic Mind video that I did. Oh my gosh, this has been saving me. This has been saving me from statistics, but I wanted to address a couple of those questions here in stream and then give you guys the opportunity to ask any more if you had any, because this stuff has been so helpful with, number one, my stress levels, but number two, my energy levels. I've been sleeping way better. So that's good news. I've been sleeping better, but because I shifted so much and put so much more on my plate, I'm still waking up and having kind of that low energy. That's what I've been experiencing my first few days with the new job, my first few days of school, because I went from, okay, here's my obligations, to, okay, we're going to triple that. And I don't know if you guys remember, a few months ago, I was experiencing some pretty severe burnout and overwhelm. So shifting that has been a little tricky, but this stuff has been so immensely helpful. So I just wanted to answer a few of the questions. I haven't taken mine this morning, so I'm going to take it too, but I just wanted to answer a few questions and see if you guys had any other questions while we go through things this morning. Lassie. Okay, like Lassie. Cool. Josh says, my brother's math class had an average grade of 58%, more than half failed the exam. I told my brother not to feel bad. That means the teacher isn't doing her job. Exactly. My teacher is actually really fantastic. I'm really happy with my professor. She's really fantastic. But some of the questions I had about this, number one, is it safe if you have a heart condition, because it does have a little bit of caffeine? And again, like I said in the video, I am incredibly sensitive to caffeine, but the caffeine content in this is so low that I don't feel it. But with any supplement that you're taking, please, 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 if you have a condition, consult your medical health professional who knows your records and who knows your history before taking anything. But it doesn't have as high of a caffeine content even as coffee. So you're getting a lot less. So if it's the caffeine that you're concerned about, I'm not a doctor, but I certainly don't think it would be problematic unless you have a very severe condition. But again, check with your physician, check with your professionals to make sure. And there's nothing else in it that would be of concern to me, just based on my knowledge. There'd be nothing in here that I would think would have a negative effect on your heart. As a matter of fact, there's some stuff in here that could have a positive effect on your heart. But like I said, talk with not your mental health professional, talk with your doctor, talk with your professional. The other question was, is it okay to drink every day? Yes, it is okay to drink every day. You can take it alongside with your current morning boost, or you can take it by itself. It's best served chilled, by the way, because this has gotten a little warm, so it's not as fantastic as it usually is, but it's not so warm that it's not okay. But yes, it is okay to take every day. Like I said, when you're introducing something new like this, kind of test the waters. That's what I did, is I only took half just to test the waters, and I'm still only doing half each day because that works for me. I found that that's the dose that works for me. But test it out and see if over time drinking it daily is just a little bit too much. Maybe you need to do every other day. Some people could probably take several of these in a day. Everybody's body is different. Everybody's experiences are different with certain things. So make sure you're doing what's best for you. Hi, Jeff. I hope you're having an amazing day as well. David says, I had a teacher give so many bad grades and she was out. I thought maybe she wasn't doing a good job if 80% of her class is failing. That's absolutely true. Josh says, to some teachers, students are more than a paycheck. It's such a shame. I would be a teacher, but my class would fail too, since I know next to nothing about most subjects. I know a lot about subjects, but my problem is that I don't know how to teach. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Ben and Rick. Oh, I'm so sorry, Rick. Thank you for your pledge, but I'm so sorry to hear about the loss in your family. Thank you, Ben. Ben says, just dropping in on a work day to see the tip jar. Can't stay. Pardon the interruption. Have a great day. Are you kidding me? I'm always happy to see you. Thank you so much for your support, guys. Mwah. That's an awesome start to our goal today. Rick, we missed you. I'm glad to see you. I wish it was on better terms. I wish that it was better news, but I appreciate you, and I hope that we can help give you and maybe even your wife some loving energy to get through this process. Are the mental effects immediate? So that was another one of the questions I got via email. Are the mental effects immediate? So for me, I notice it, I would say probably about 30 to 45 minutes after I take it. So I take it a couple hours before class, so it kicks in. So I can kick statistics butt, have a little bit more focus. It's really helped with focus, because you need that when everything's a gerbil of numbers. But I would say it takes about 30 to 45 minutes. And the thing I love the most is it's really subtle. The shift is really subtle, but it's very helpful. And what I mean by subtle is when you drink coffee, you feel that intensely, or at least I do. And most people I know feel that very intensely, you know. But with this, it's kind of a gradual and it's kind of a subtle thing. I just know, oh, wow, I can put these concepts together easier. Okay, I'm dealing with stress a little better right now. I'm cognizant of that, but it's not really over the top and overwhelming, because I'm very sensitive to chemicals, so things can be very overwhelming for me. If you have any other questions, by the way, drop them here in the chat and let me know. Can I drink this? This is the last question that I have. But like I said, if you have any questions, let me know. Can I drink this if I'm taking Zoloft? Again, it's always important if you're starting even supplements like this. It's always important to talk to your professional, in this case, your mental health professional, to see if there are any interactions. I don't know of any interactions with Zoloft and any of the ingredients in this, but caffeine can react differently to all people. And I am very, very, very sensitive to caffeine. So it could be different if you're on medication. It could make you more sensitive or susceptible to that. If you have really intense symptoms of anxiety, sometimes it can affect that, but I can have really intense symptoms of anxiety and it hasn't had any negative effects on me. I'm not personally on any prescription medication for my mental health, but I can't see anything in here that would be a contradiction. But it's always important to talk to a healthcare professional. But I know a couple of people that are on other medications, other antidepressants and stuff, anti-anxiety medications, who take it and haven't reported any problems. But just because it doesn't have an effect for one person does not mean it's going to not have an effect for another. So fantastic questions. But yeah, I found positive effects from it, not negative. And I can't drink caffeine or energy drinks, coffee, any of that, tea even. I can't even drink caffeinated tea. So for me, it's been wonderful for my mental health, and it's great, like I said, with your coffee. But I think it can be a good addition to your routine. But you know what? Test it out, see if it's good for you. Talk to your professional. Anything, in my opinion, anything you can do to kind of boost your mental health is fantastic. And if it works for you, it's another tool in your toolbox. That is awesome. Aaron's also excited to see Rick. Mick says, Miss Amanda, they moved my daughter yesterday to a rehab center in Atlanta, the Shepherd Center for TBI and spinal. I'm happy that she is recovering and doing well, and that they are taking care of her, that she's getting good care. Jeff says, thank you for your words of advice. It's cool to talk to someone. We love talking to you too. Chris says, hey to you. I'm glad we're all sending Rick love. Mm-hmm. David Ward says, there's nothing like a beautiful woman going through the same things as a simple man. I was in a mental hospital. Should I share that after my wife died if I meet someone? Doubtful. Are you saying should you share that with someone else if you meet someone else? I personally think that it's awesome to be able to share that with a partner and be able to have that conversation, because then it's telling them that they also can share with you. So if you're being vulnerable with them, then they can be vulnerable with you in return. So it sets up that precedent for the relationship, that both parties can be vulnerable with each other. Oh, thank you, Aaron. And because he missed Rick James, I bet Rick missed you too. Casca, how are the puppies? Oh, David has to hope the puppies are good. How are the puppies? We love you, but we love the puppies too. Josh says, oh, thank God. It's my first time watching a YouTube live. Oh, on your very first? I thought it was just your first time here. I didn't know I was your very first. I'll try really hard to be gentle with you. Aaron says, I hope you're doing okay. Death is difficult to deal with. death is pretty much the most difficult thing to deal with, in my opinion, because no matter what, nobody's really prepared for it in any context. We're never really prepared for death. We're never prepared for the grieving process, even if this person had a slow decline, and they passed slowly. We're never really ready for that. Tyler, the Superman. Hello, Amanda. How are you doing tonight or today? It is still today for me. It is 10:09 in the morning, but I am doing pretty fantastic. I'm not gonna lie, I needed this boost. Last night was one of those nights where I just had a lot to try to process and a lot to try to get through, and my brain didn't want to stop. I was feeling really good because I was being diligent about keeping up with my homework and stuff and making sure that I did my assignments and even kind of getting ahead where I can. And I had done all of my stats homework and stuff, and I had this lab that I had to do through PSPP, which is a statistics program, right? So I had to do this whole lab. I was so proud of myself for getting it done. And my laptop, for some reason, corrupted two of my files. Both of them were statistics files, and pretty much erased all of my work. And it was hours worth of work, and I was so frustrated. And I spent a while yesterday catching up, so I gave up some of my me time to catch up yesterday. But it was so frustrating, and my mind was kind of spiraling last night because Bryson's actual birthday party is today. So I have the stream, and I have Bryson's party, and I have a dog client, and I have a doctor's appointment, and I have to work tonight. And I'm sorry, I'm going to turn that off. I have to work tonight, and there's a lot going on today. There was a lot going on yesterday. My friend's memorial is tomorrow, so there's just been a whole lot going on, and like I said, I'm telling you, any little thing that I can get to boost my ability to deal with stress and my energy is super fantastic. And some of that is from you guys. Some of that is from my drinks. This is my morning latte. Remember that video I made on how to do the morning latte? This is that. So I've got it all. I've got the essential oil. I've got the candle. I've got it all this morning. All the stress relief, all of the positivity and energy this morning. We haven't done our good news story yet, so let's jump into that. Oh, Metalmark12 says, Amanda, how many classes and what classes are you taking now? Okay, I'll answer that and then I'll jump into the good news story. So I am taking 4. I'm taking statistics, I'm taking research methods, I'm taking composition, and I'm taking public speaking, which public speaking is kind of frustrating because I don't personally feel like I need a public speaking class. I've done quite a bit of public speaking in the professional realm, obviously in the personal realm, and I don't feel like it's something I particularly struggle with. I'm sure that I have room for improvement. I'm sure that I have room for growth, but I just don't think I need a whole class on it. I feel like it's something that someone could just watch one of my presentations, give me some feedback, and I could run with that. I certainly don't think I need to do 4 speeches, but I'm trying to have fun with it and make the best of it. The stats class is the bane of my existence right now. The research methods class, I actually really impressed the teacher because we went in, it was the second day of class, and she was talking about just definitions and stuff and trying to give us the foundation. And she was using the JonBenet Ramsey case as her example to correlate these definitions and stuff to. And I was about 11 or 12 when JonBenet Ramsey was murdered, and I followed that case obsessively. I mean, I had a bunch of books. I was reading these books about the case when I was 11 or 12. I had a bunch of newspaper articles. I had a whole folder full of notes, and I'm really devastated that my parents got rid of all that. But in the class, she was talking about it, and I ended up giving her more information, more details about the case than she had in her notes from what she had prepared. So I had a lot to contribute to that conversation. She was very impressed about that. And then she was talking about her upbringing, and she mentioned that she was from Wichita, and she said, I don't know if you guys know about Dennis. And I said, Dennis Rader, the BTK killer? And she looked at me and kind of smiled and said, yeah, when I was a kid, when I was younger, that was an active case, and he was still active in the Wichita area, and it was very scary. She said, and every day when I went home and I said, you would check your phones to make sure that the phone lines were working, and she looked at me and said, how did you know that? And I said, well, there was a serial killer on the loose in my area that was cutting phone lines. The first thing I would do when I walked into my house is check the phone lines and make sure the phone lines were working. And she just smiled and said, that's really good thinking. That's really good profiling on your behalf. So she likes me. She remembers me. I'm one of the only people in the class whose name she remembered on, I think, the third day. So I'm very excited about that. It's been awesome. It's been really amazing kind of getting back into that. So let's do, my gosh, I feel scattered. Let's do the happy story, and then we'll jump into the wins. So, no, I don't want to subscribe. Go away. The positive news today is the bubble barriers that stop plastic pollution before it reaches the sea. The lo-fi pollution solution has proven surprisingly effective in the Netherlands. Now the technology is set to be rolled out elsewhere in Europe. Can't wait till it comes here. A Dutch startup led by sailors and surfers has devised a way of stopping trash in its tracks with a little help from bubbles. The Great Bubble Barrier, or GBB, deploys a perforated tube on riverbeds to create a curtain of bubbles which nudges waste to the bank for collection. And for such a lo-fi method, it's proven remarkably effective, snagging plastic particles as small as 1 millimeter and intercepting as much as 86% of flotsam in inland waters before it reaches the sea. It's a solution that is sorely needed. Every year, more than 8 million tons of plastic ends up in our oceans, of which 60 to 80% originates in rivers. The concept was devised by a team of Dutch ocean lovers in 2019. They came up with a design that catches plastic over a river's full width and depth and directs it to a catchment system that collects and compresses the waste. Last summer, GBB's first bubble barrier was installed in the mouth of the Oude Rijn, which means Old Rhine River, at Katwijk in Midwestern Netherlands. I butcher names, I'm so sorry. After locals expressed dismay at plastic pollution littering the town's beach. The Amsterdam barrier prevents around 8,000 pieces of plastic from reaching the sea each month. The bubble curtain is created by an air compressor running on renewable energy, which pumps air in the riverbed tube laid diagonally across the waterway. The bubbles lift plastic to the surface, and the flow of the river's channels waste sideways into a catchment system. And it operates 24/7, works regardless of water levels, and allows aquatic life and river traffic to pass unhindered. This is amazing to me. Just the fact that not only someone had this thought, but brought it into reality, and that people are still concerned about this, because I look around and sometimes, I'm not going to lie, I get anxiety symptoms just from looking at the state of the world. I remember when I went to Haiti back in 2018, and the beaches were just so littered with trash. I mean, that's all you saw was trash. You couldn't even see beach. It was just trash in the water. And I was so heartbroken. And I know that in those areas, it's just not something they think about. I mean, these people are starving. They're in survival mode. They don't think about things like this. They're not educated to think about things like this. But it broke my heart so much. And to think that there's still people that are doing the work to prevent this, because it has an effect on the wildlife, it has an effect on the planet, it has an effect on us as the chemicals and such leach into the water systems, and all of them can't be, my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? Filtered out. So I think that was really amazing. That made me smile this morning. And I love seeing people addressing problems that affect all of us. I just love seeing the social movements and the science and all of these things that are advancing us as a species and as a planet, because it could be so hard to focus on that when everybody wants you to focus on everything that's wrong. You know, here's all the problems in the world. We're actually making a lot of progress. Just the news doesn't want to focus on that, because the news wants us to be scared. The news wants us to be sheep. The more afraid we are, the more emotional we get, the more control, the more easy it is to manipulate us. And it's not that we shouldn't be getting emotional, but if you're getting emotional over things you see on the news, find a positive way to address that and watch less news. So there's that. David says, science what? Science, bitch. You know, David, you don't even need to ask. Justin says, my wife died in her sleep 6 years and 5 days ago at the age of just 40. That's so young. My friend that just passed was only 36. It's a reminder we never know when our end is. And it's like that Garth Brooks song I reacted to the other day. We never want to miss an opportunity to tell someone how we feel. And it's really weird because I did that reaction, and I think it was either that night or the night after I think it was that night, found out about my friend that passed, my ex that passed at 36. I hope that you are feeling supported here, Justin. I hope that you know that you can share memories of her and will help keep her alive. I hope that you do feel her love, and I hope that you're healing. I hope that you're finding strength, and I hope that she finds peace. Josh says, Amanda here is the top student, probably in everything but statistics. Metal Mark says, Amanda, I think you'd make a good private investigator. You seem detail-oriented. I would absolutely love to be a police consultant. That's actually one of the things that I would really love to do once I finish my bachelor's. I would really love to be a police consultant, or maybe a research assistant, but probably a police consultant. I would really like to do that. Metal Marks, I don't buy water in plastic containers. I just reuse gallon jugs and fill with filtered water at the store. I actually don't use plastic containers, like plastic bottles, either. One of the reasons is Final Destination 2, and Bryson doesn't obviously know the context, but he knows that I am adamantly opposed to having plastic bottles in my car because of Final Destination 2, which I suppose, I'm being safer because of this movie that traumatized me as a child. Next, he says, God is not one thing in the universe that can be measured or verified. God is the independent, transcendent, uncaused cause of all inside. That's an interesting perspective. David says, my goal in life and what drives me is after I'm gone, will people remember me, and how will they remember me? My goal in life is to leave the earth better than I found it. I want to leave this world better than I found it. So I want to have had an impact that betters the world in some way. That's all I really want. I want people to come to my funeral and celebrate my life, and I want them to say, she made me feel seen. I felt seen because of her. I didn't feel invisible anymore. I didn't feel, meaningless anymore. I felt empowered just by her existence. That's what I want people to say. I don't want people to, cry over me. By all means, cry over me. But I don't want people to just sit around and go, oh, she was such a good person, blah, blah, blah. I want people to really have taken something from my existence that they can share, that can move the world in a positive direction, preferably in the mental health field. But, if there's other things that I do that contribute to a better world, that's cool too. Next, he says, unfortunately, it's very unrealistic to think that you can make an impact. A bit or more realistic goal is just be happy. I respectfully disagree with that. I think we can all make an impact in our own way. Now, can one of us save the world? No, it's unrealistic to say, let's save the world. But all it takes is one person to stand up and speak out and do the work that needs to be done in these different things for change to be made. Look at Malala. Malala stood up and said, I deserve education as a woman, and she took a bullet for girls to be able to go to school. And there's countless examples. I could go on forever with all these examples of one person. Rosa Parks refusing to give up her seat. All it takes is one person to stand up and one person to really exert the energy to make sure that change happens. But I do think that it's, for your point, I do think it's also important that we are focusing on our own mental health, and being happy. I do think that that's important. And in being happy, we feel more inspired, more motivated, and more creative even. So I think that those two things kind of go hand in hand, actually. You know what time it is, guys. Want to make sure that we get our snaps in. I bet we have some really good snaps for the week. But as always, that's going to come with a song, and Edward isn't here to yell at me this week. So actually, I hope that Edward's doing okay. I know he wasn't feeling well this week. I hope that he's doing okay. Oh, Edward, you came just in time for the song. So yes, for those of you that are new, this is inspired by Legally Blonde 2. Thank you, Erin. This is inspired by Legally Blonde 2. Just a way to share some warm fuzzies, a way to share wins in the community so that we can be reminded that even when we're struggling, there's always wins. And I want to be able to build each other up and love each other. So Edward's song. So snap cup time, gather ye round. friends and foes together, united and bound. Pass it to your neighbor instead of blowing up, and you'll find harmony and love in a snap cup. That snap wasn't very loud. We need loud snaps. Come on, give me some snaps in here. So Lassie says, snaps on the ready. David says, Nexie, only a few make big change, but no one knows which of us will be the few. Just try and make a few around you happier and yourself as well. Good advice. Oh, David, you're first here too. David Gap says, finally got things straightened out with my insurance and got the meds I need. I am so proud of you for persevering and for pushing back against the companies, but I'm so happy for you that you got the meds you need to be able to heal and to thrive. So snaps for David Gaps. Snaps for gaps. That's going to be our new motto here on the channel. Snaps for gaps. Skull Crusher says, my mental health wins watching elders react to Japanese game show. Look it up. It's pretty hilarious. Well, I think we can all use laughs and finding reasons for laughter. I think there's actually laughter yoga. I'm pretty sure there's a laughter therapy, and it's such an amazing thing. I have certain videos saved on my Raise the Vibes playlist that are just purely to laugh at. So maybe at some point I'll check out elders reacting to Japanese game shows. But snaps to you for finding something that makes you laugh. Oh, David's at least correcting his grammar in here because he knows that otherwise I'll probably beat him with something. The Warrior Poet says, I finally finished up this time-consuming, stressful experience of getting processed into a new clinic where my former psychiatrist now works and got my first appointment with her at her new location. As a bonus, she offered me the option to resume therapy sessions with my former therapist as well. I gladly agreed to do so. It'll be nice to finally have some continuity in my life again and for the chaos to slow down and get things back to calmer waters. I'm sleeping better already. Snaps to you. Like I said with David, I know that the process can be grueling, but snaps to you for sticking with it and for making sure that you got the treatment you deserved. And I'm very happy for you that it's working out in a way to have continuity, because it can be so stressful when you kind of get tossed between professionals and you kind of have to explain your whole story again and start from scratch. And it's really almost demoralizing to have to continue doing that. So it's really good to hear that that is working out and you're going to be staying with the person that you have already made a connection with. And it's so hard to find a mental health professional that you resonate with, you know? And it's important, though. I think that we should look at therapy like dating. Instead of just accepting whoever's office we're thrown into, we should be interviewing them. Like, we should be trying to find someone we match with. Why don't they have a dating app for therapists? Not a dating app, but an app to actually match you with a therapist based on, well, they do. They have BetterHelp, but I think that finding like an app sort of thing that would connect you with a therapist. I guess I was looking at a more immediate thing, but BetterHelp does connect you with therapists that meet your personal needs. It's within a couple of days. So I don't think we can really ask for any better than that. So I guess, as David would say, my hamster wheel was just going and I was just thinking out loud. But you know what? I think that already exists. What we need already exists in that realm. Metal Mark says, snaps back, whoosh after whoosh. Lassie says, biofact, Ruby bacteria have been found to use plastic as another way to create energy as opposed to photosynthesis. Pretty cool. Not a reason to throw away plastic, but hopeful at least. I feel like we could somehow harness that, though. Metal Mark 12, channel needs a mascot for Snap Cup Fridays. Maybe a snapping turtle. I love it. Well, we have Earl the Frog over there, and we have Celine here, the little wolfie. But yes, maybe a snapping turtle. Jake Smith says, I devoted one extra day a month to focus on my relationship and my mental health. I also watched The Last of Us on HBO Max. I'm enjoying it so far. I've never heard of that, so maybe I'll have to just see what it's about. I probably won't get into it because I don't really get into very many shows, but I'm curious what it's about. I'm really wanting to get the book The Measure. It's our book club book for the month, but I haven't been able to get it at the library. It has something like 68 holds, so I'm not able to get it at the library, and I don't really want to have to buy it right now because it was $15-20 on Amazon, and that's just a lot in my mind for a book. So I'm hoping to check that out, but I think it's amazing to take just a day for yourself. So instead of waiting for, your birthday or waiting for that special time, to just take a day a week or a day a month and say, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to adhere to what anyone else wants or needs. I'm just going to focus on me, and I'm going to do the things that make me happy. So that's amazing that you are doing that. Snaps for Jake, snaps for you for doing that, and for finding something that is enjoyable for you. It's important that we take time for fun and recreation. David says The Last of Us is based on an all-time popular video game. That probably explains why I haven't heard of it. Edward says you don't get into too many shows. Did I join the wrong channel? Well, I feel like I have a couple of shows, but it's like I'll get into one show and then be okay not watching anything else for a year. I mean, in the past, since probably 2016, I've watched Dexter, Handmaid's Tale, Breaking Bad, and Saul. Lucifer. And that's all I watched in like years. So I can get pretty excited about a show or a bit obsessive about a show, but I don't need to constantly have something to watch. I'm perfectly okay with having a book to read. Oh, Aaron Butler says, my girlfriend made it 30 days of not drinking. Ever since I've known her, she's always been a source of inspiration, and I dearly love her for that. It might be a small accomplishment. You don't know what has been going on in my head not having that wine. It might be a small accomplishment to some, but for those that have struggled with addiction, you know how hard those 30 days can be. I know she can make her goal of 1 year, and I hope that she knows that I will support her 100% all of the way. You are so adorable. Thank you so much. I guess snaps for me, snaps for Aaron for supporting me and loving me through this. It has been really challenging. I just hit 30 days yesterday, and it has been immensely challenging because I always start things just before the new year to kind of get into a new routine, and because I don't want to be too cliche. So yeah, I hit my 30 days yesterday at 1 p.m. and it's gonna be a long year, my friends. It's gonna be a long year, but there have been several times, like when my friend passed away and my reaction was to drink. My immediate reaction was, you don't understand, I need a drink to get through this. And as the time went on, thank you, Aaron, for pledging $30 for 30 days. We're about to hit our goal. Well, I think we're a little under our goal, but thank you for contributing and helping support that, and for supporting my 30 days. But when my immediate reaction was, I need that drink. And this was only a couple weeks in, and I was feeling pretty okay. I mean, I was wanting a glass of wine with dinner, but I was feeling pretty okay. But when that happened, as the night went on and I was surviving without the drink, because Aaron, helped me through it, and I helped myself through it. And I tried to really lean into the emotions I was having and just let it come as it would. And it was very overwhelming. It was very uncomfortable, but I thought, you know what? The best thing I can do to honor my friend's memory is feel this pain, is feel this struggle, because there's a part in Thor, Love and Thunder where he's saying feeling shitty reminds you that this person meant something to you, and you're meant to feel shitty sometimes. You're meant to feel awful sometimes, especially when you lose someone, and it's okay to have those feelings. So it was a huge lesson to me. I could have easily justified having a drink and nobody would have judged me for it, but it was times like that in the past 30 days that I realized, wow, this really had more of a hold on me than I realized. And at the end of my first day of statistics, my response was, I survived the first day of statistics. I should go get a drink. Oh, wait, this is not a good sign. And like I said, that's why I quit, is because I could see the breadcrumbs of where maybe I wasn't an alcoholic and I could go a week without drinking and be fine. But I could see it becoming a problem. Nobody becomes an addict or becomes an alcoholic overnight, but there's this behavior that kind of leads up to it. And I could see those breadcrumbs. I could see that behavior starting to take hold. So yeah, it's definitely, I will probably make a vlog at some point doing an update, but Skelm, am I saying it right? Please tell me I'm saying it right. Please tell me I'm making progress on pronouncing your name. David says, Aaron Butler, all this Amanda love, what did you break? Aaron Butler for the win. David says, win for Aaron Butler after 30 days. She hasn't strangled him yet. See, that's a big win. That's a big win. Nick says, hug your kids more than you think you should. I'm one of those people that I've been told that I'm too emotionally open to my kid. First and foremost, what the cinnamon toast fuck does that mean? I don't even know what that means. But I've been told that I'm too open to Bryson emotionally and that I share too much with him or that I'm too affectionate. What? But I absolutely agree. Thank you so much, Mick, for pledging. But I absolutely agree that however much you're saying I love you, however much you're doing romantic things for your partner, however much you're hugging your kids, however much you're calling your mom, triple all of that, because it's not enough. You'd want to do that as much as possible. It says close enough. Yes, I'm making progress. Awful with names and countries and things like that. All of them. Mick says, when you get a call about your daughter shot in the head, all you think about is how much you didn't hug her. You know, I can't relate to that on that exact in that exact way, but yeah, I think that when you lose somebody, all you think about is what you didn't do and what you didn't say. And I had that with my parents really bad. It was all the things I didn't ask, all the things I didn't tell them, all the hugs I didn't give, all the bad things that I'd done, or things not bad things, but things I regretted. It's so true. Like, hug 10 times as much as you think you should. Sean Blackhurst says, my win for this week was getting to a point with my family where I could be a little bit open about why I have PTSD. Also managed to land my first client since pivoting my company to non-defense sector work. Opening up feels so amazing, doesn't it? Snaps to you for opening up, for having the energy to do that, but for being in a place, for working to create that atmosphere and that energy where you could. So snaps for that, and snaps for your first client. The first is always very exciting. I remember when the first person signed up for my happiness boost course, and I was just so over them and going, oh my gosh. And then I got the positive feedback from them when they completed it. And it was just so crazy for me. I keep getting texts from students the past few weeks, and it's been so I guess I kind of like getting that validation every now and then that, okay, it's working for people and it's helping people, and it's not just me, it really is helping people. Even from the 5-day challenge, I've gotten some comments about that and stuff. So it's been really amazing. I don't know why there's an uptick right now of students and of comments and of feedback, but it's been really amazing. But I remember my first client with that, or first student with that, and it felt so amazing. So I'm sharing that energy with you. I'm very happy for you. AK2 in day Echidna. I'm not exactly sure how to say that, if it's a play on words, but I started a new hobby, kind of dumb, I guess, but it occupies my mind. Not dumb at all, my love. Hobbies are huge for mental health because it can help us feel empowered. It can help us feel capable. It can help us grow, like mentally grow, which is huge. I know when I took up French, it's not like I ever really want to do anything with that per se. I took it up because I wanted to do more outreach with my Days for Girls work and be able to help more people. So that was why I initially started learning. But honestly, it is kind of a hobby for me. And there should be things in your life that you just love, that you just do because you love. It's not dumb at all. It's amazing for your mental health because you're saying, it doesn't matter if this makes money. It doesn't matter if I do anything with this. I'm doing this for me. So you're sending a really good message to yourself. Snaps to you for that. David's right, Nick. We are all thinking of her and sending her healing and energy. And it does break my heart that happened. But I really genuinely believe that she's going to pull through. She's your kid. How could she not have the fortitude to pull through? I wanted to say I see comments on the wins post frequently. I saw one that was saying win, like what's that, or win, question mark, or I don't have a win for this week. And this is one of the reasons actually I post this, is because when we are in that dark place, when our shadow starts becoming our narrative, when we are really struggling with the depression symptoms or the anxiety symptoms, those dark thoughts, it can be super hard to think of a win. But number one, before anything else, you're here. That might not feel like a win, but you're here. And you showed up, whether you just showed up in the world, you showed up on the channel, whether you're just watching a funny video, there's always a win. Maybe you just have that one really good friend. Maybe you have your pet. Maybe you have a hobby. Maybe there's something, but there's always something to say, I had this win. Like, I could have given up and I didn't. And that is always a win. So you always, always, always have a win. And that's one of the reasons I do this, is to remind you that you got up this morning, and whether your shadow wants you to believe it or not, that is a win. You decided to stay. That is a win. I know when the depression symptoms are really banging at your door, when they're the ones that knock, that it can be really hard to fight that urge to just say, this, like, I don't want to do this anymore. And you overcame that. Every moment you overcame that, that's a win. Every time that you decided to not engage in self-harming, every time you decided to not have that drink or not do that line or whatever the case is, that's a win. Every time you decided to do something for you and your growth and your mental health, that's a win. David says, I miss and love Alkin. We all love Alkin. Sean M says, what? Sean M, I don't know what Sean's last name is, but in my head, I'm still a Nip Tuck fiend. So my brain filled in McNamara, Sean McNamara. Sean M says, well, for a win, I got to talk to someone I admire, which surprised me a lot. Snaps to you. It's always nice to talk to someone that we look up to. I've had that privilege several times. Mike Shinoda was my big one, when I got to talk to someone that helped me and that I looked up to, and it was so amazing. It's such an amazing experience. I'm very happy for you. Snaps for Sean M. Ben Mark says, oh, that was our last snap. Keep putting snaps in the cup. Yeah, there was a whole entire music video for that over on the Patreon. So if you want to see me go all 90s boy band in the rain and my little wife beater and everything, making up songs about the snap cup, check out the Patreon. Totally worth it. But I have to go look for it. It's interesting you say that, because there are times where my shadow just isn't there at all. And I miss her in the sense that I've become friends with her and I've come to a point where we kind of work together. So yeah, her voice can get loud in that more negative way, but for the most part now, I need for her to be there, and I need for her to work with me and for her to provide her positive insights, because that side of us can still provide value to us. It's just a matter of setting boundaries to it, like with any other relationship, David says it was so worth that tip for that song. Leslie Madsen says, just find something you really like and just go with it, just for you. Something that you like, something you don't have to tell anyone about or defend. That is great advice. What is nerding? Nearding? I have absolutely no idea. Nerding things can help get rid of the unsettling feeling. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but maybe I'm going to get to learn a new word today. Oh, so yes, we had a lot of wins in the community. That's happy. That makes me happy. Metal Mark says, I sometimes talk to myself and guarantees intelligent conversation. I've had some pretty insightful conversations with myself. David Gap says, I've always thought of it as a splintered mind. I have to pluck all those negative thoughts out to free my mind. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. I didn't really think of splinter in that way, like removing the little pieces of wood, but that's a pretty amazing perspective of that. I like that. I like that. I like it. We are almost to our goal today, by the way. We are almost to our pledge goal. Oh, Francisco, hello. I'm good. How are you? Let's see. Nick says, I'm going to have the biggest win of my life when I watch my daughter walk out of the hospital. You absolutely will. And I can't wait to hear about it. I can't wait to see that in our wins for the week. August Dog Gaming says, I've been playing this game called Nation States lately, lots of fun, and my son and I made a snowman. What's snow? Just kidding. It's been a while. Almost a year. Oh my gosh, it's been almost a year since we went to Finland, Erin. And I think that was last time. Yeah, I've made a snowman. We can make sandmen here. We can make a cactus man. I don't know. We'd have to get really creative. But that's awesome. That's really awesome. David says, you started early. I missed the pledge goal. 250. It's 250. That's kind of the pledge goal for the moment. Cascus has been practicing to be mindful, have my slip-ups, but that's okay. Of course, we all do. Been interested in lucid dreaming for a while also, which can be very helpful when working with the shadows. Absolutely true, because your dreams are your subconscious. So when you can tap into the subconscious, when you can get in the dream, when you can be conscious that you're in the dream and then start kind of manipulating it, you can work through a lot more things. So it is amazing with shadow work. And I think that's one of the greatest things that I've gotten from school is it's really forced me to be mindful, because it's kind of like when I was learning French, there's no way that you'd be thinking about all your problems while you're conjugating verbs in the passé composé. There's no way that I'm going to be able to be texting or thinking about other things while I'm trying to understand the concepts presented in statistics class. So it really has encouraged me to be more mindful and to be able to enjoy my days and be able to enjoy the process, instead of just going, okay, this class just needs to be over so I can have my piece of paper. No, I want to enjoy the journey. I want to enjoy the classes. And pretty sure this summer I'm going to get to take my forensics classes. So I'm very excited about that. And I just want to be mindful and enjoy it. I really just want to be present and be there. Mindfulness is so huge. It can be so hard to really practice sometimes, especially I kind of have I have all those tabs open all the time. So it can be very hard for me to be in a mindset of, okay, right now I'm right here. I'm on this stream. That's all that matters. This is where I need to be. And Erin is poking his head. Say hi to Erin. Say hi, Erin. Hi. Every now and then he likes to poke his head in. But it's something I still practice too. And it is a practice. And I've gotten to the point where if it's even 5 minutes, I take time every day to just center myself, do a little meditation. Usually I've been doing that before school, where I'll just sit in my car, put on my little 5-minute beach music or whatever, and just center myself before going in, because then I'm in the mindset for that. Oh, David says, in Mick's daughter's honor. Thank you, David. Thank you so much. I don't think that we realize that, when we're helping the overall mental health community, we're really being able to honor all of these people that we know that are struggling. We're able to honor all these people that we've lost to the struggles. And that's what I aim to do here. So I'm glad that that is not lost on the community. And thank you guys for pledging toward that. Mick, are you still needing help? Did you guys do a GoFundMe or anything? I'm just curious about where you're at with that, or where her insurance is at, or whatever the case is. It's AA Rod. It's AA Rod. Yeah. I had to laugh at that when I saw that skit, because I always in my head did that. Like, why is there an extra A? Not with you, Erin, but with people growing up, the Erins I knew, I always remember thinking, even as a kid, why is there another A? Why is there a silent A? It's funny. So yes, it's AA Rod. JD, I haven't seen you in forever. How are you? I haven't seen you around. Stop Gaming says, I also started a new medication for night terrors PTSD, but I had to quit it because it gave me severe panic attacks. What medication is that? Because I've heard different, if you don't mind sharing, I've heard different things about medications that are prescribed specifically for night terrors in PTSD. And I obviously can't prescribe medications, but sometimes I'll say, hey, have you considered talking to your doctor about this? And I'm just curious what specific one you're taking. I can't take any prescription medication because it all does that to me. It all ends up giving me panic attacks. So David says, I want another A, maybe David. But why though? What if I was Amanda? Amanda. You just put extra M's in there. It started with the letter P. Was talking about it yesterday. With someone. Gosh, it's gonna bother me. Vacation. I just made a note of this. Prazosin. Yes, I've heard good and bad things about that medication. It kind of made me think of Freddy versus Jason. I know this is weird, but where they were taking the medication to not dream, and then it was causing these side effects. That was the problem with me. For me with medication was, okay, it might address one issue, but then it caused 3 others that I couldn't manage. So I said, you know what? I'd kind of rather deal with depression on my own than have crippling panic attacks and hallucinations, to be honest with you. So I really think that it's important that we're communicating that if you do go the medication route, which is perfectly fine, it can be a great tool for a lot of people. If you do end up going the medication route, to really stand up for yourself with your professional and say, this isn't working for me. This medication or this dosage is not working for me. You are within your rights to do that. And a lot of people just say, oh, well, the doctor knows better and I have to do what the doctor says. No, you don't. You can talk to the doctor. You can get a second opinion. Don't ever stop taking medication just cold turkey or anything, but you can stand up for yourself and say, hey, this is causing side effects that I can't deal with, or hey, this is doing this to me, or this isn't working. Please, please, please know that you have the power to do that and to change your medication, to change doses, to look into alternative treatments. You have that right. So just a friendly reminder. Edouard. That's really weird to add an extra A in there. David Gapps. David Gay Apps. I'm going to say Gay Apps. Metalmark says, has there been any studies you know of about addictive personalities with addictive behavior, drugs, gambling, overeating, etc.? There's a whole lot of studies, actually. So what specific information are you looking for? Because there's been a lot of studies, actually. Francisco says, is it crazy that I'm recovering from my motorcycle accident injury, but looking forward to getting back on my motorcycle again? No, not at all. I actually think that's really healthy because you see that this was an isolated incident. You're not letting this fear cripple you from doing something that you love to do. I think a lot of people have one bad experience and then they let that dictate their entire future with that thing. For example, water, one time you fall in the pool and all of a sudden you're terrified of water because you had this bad experience and you almost drown, and it was very frightening for you. We should be saying, okay, how can I be more careful next time? Is there anything that I could do to try to ensure that this doesn't happen again? But if not, how can I work through this anxiety and feel comfortable? So I actually think that that's great. August Dog Gaming says, yes, it gave me the worst panic attacks of my life, so I threw it in the trash. I had that experience with several prescription medications where it was just absolutely crippling. I couldn't deal with it, and that's why I stopped trying and found alternative methods and worked with professionals that were open to me going down alternative routes. It took a bit, but I think with my lifestyle changes, for those of you that are new, by the way, if you want to learn about those lifestyle changes, that's what my free 5-day challenge is all about, is just learning the lifestyle changes that I made, that for some people that can be enough to really boost their mental health and get them to where they need to be. For others, it can be great with therapy or with medication. It can be great with the other things that you're doing for your mental health, but it gives a really great blueprint for the lifestyle changes that you can make so you can be empowering yourself and improving your mental health of your own accord. JD, thank you. Amanda, been doing good. I had a health setback with a type 2 diabetes diagnosis, so I've been really focused on doing what's needed to get past it. Snaps for you. Thank you so much, first and foremost, for the pledge. But snaps to you for focusing on yourself and on healing and as you said, getting past it. I believe in you, and I can't wait to see you heal. Casca says, had a motorcycle accident in 1998, but that hasn't stopped me from riding motorcycles. Just now, due to financial issues, I don't have one, but would like one again. See, that's awesome. I love hearing that, and I hope that you do get one again. Francisco says, Amanda, have you ever been on a motorcycle before? Yes, I have. I have been a passenger on one, and I got to drive one briefly just because it was back in 2015 or 2016 when I was going through my yes man phase. I just need to do all the crazy stuff, and I need to fly a plane, and I ended up, my friend had a motorcycle, and I got to drive it briefly. However, I had a half brother that I never met because he swerved to miss a drunk driver on his motorcycle and hit a tree and died on impact. And he had his friend with him who they were going to see his friend's new baby. His friend had just had a baby. Well, his friend's wife had just had a baby. And he never got to meet his new baby because they swerved to miss a drunk driver. And so I kind of grew up almost being afraid of motorcycles because my mom was afraid of motorcycles. And I kind of had this mentality in the back of my head of it's not really if you get in an accident, it's when you get in an accident, how serious is it going to be? And it's really frightening because it's something that it's not really about you. It's more about how are all the other crazy people on the road, you know? We have tails. We have a tails here. I don't know why. There's a tails that just popped in the room, but this is Brayston's, one of his little backpacks. So if there is supposed to be some hidden meaning to this, lost on me, but to anyone who needed a little extra energy and love this morning. Oh, that was for August dog. Okay. Perfect. Love it. Okay. So yes, I have been on a motorcycle before, but I just personally feel uncomfortable with them. I prefer four-wheelers. I like things with four wheels, but I mean, I know that they're wonderful for a lot of people, and I have friends in the BACA community, Bikers Against Child Abuse, so I have nothing against bikes. I just don't personally feel comfortable with them, so it's not something that I want to do ongoing. David says, come on, admit it, that's your school backpack at university. No, you'll get to see my backpack in the vlog that I made. Edward says, from my experience, if you don't want meds to be a permanent part of your life, you can learn to succeed without them. 4 months med-free here. Snaps for that. It takes time and may not be for everyone, but it's doable. I think it is doable for a lot of people. I definitely think we're just speaking all this stuff in here this morning. Aaron's such a goofball. Oh, now we have Sonic. What on earth did I miss here with August? Oh, is that a Sonic the Hedgehog in the snaps jar? Is now. There's a Sonic in the snaps jar now. There wasn't a Sonic. This is just the little wolfie, so there wasn't a Sonic, but now there is. So yes. I do have a poltergeist, apparently, that's just apparating things into my room. Metal Mark says, won't get a motorcycle, too many crazy drivers out there. In California, there was a lot of cases because the motorcyclists can go between cars there. And there was a lot of cases of people getting irritated and just opening their doors, and the motorcyclist would hit the door. And I'm thinking, just because of irritation, not only are you willing to potentially kill someone, but you're willing to mangle your car just because you're frustrated or irritated that they can go between cars and you can't. That seems really extreme, and you probably need to see a therapist. David says, this tip is for Amanda to take that backpack to class next week. You know what? Challenge accepted. Aaron says, those are fighting words, David. Uh-oh. You have no idea how much she loves her pink backpack, especially the pink poop ball. I cannot wait to post that blog and share that with you guys, so stay tuned. Nick says, huge win. My daughter just called me on her own for the first time, and her sister. That is a huge win. That makes me very, very happy. Metal Mark 12 says, addictive behavior tied to specific areas of the brain that are associated with addiction. I think I've seen there is a tie in it. Oh, yes, there absolutely is a tie. Yes, if that's your question, yes, there absolutely is a tie. Yes. Lassie is right. Going off of meds in the wrong way can make it worse. That's great. Thank you for bringing that up. I do want to touch on that. So it's very important that if you are getting off medication, that you're weaning off, that you're talking to your professional, that you're doing that in a way that's not going to cause more harm. It's completely okay to want to get off meds, to discuss that with your professional, to see if there are alternatives, or to see if you can do that, or to say, look, I'm looking to find alternative methods for coping with my mental health. please, 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 if it's some other kind of medication as well, this is even just antidepressants or anti-anxieties or SSRIs, please, please, please make sure that you are always talking to your professionals to ensure that you're not getting off in a way that could really cause a lot of harm, because it can cause some terrible side effects. Terrible side effects. Let's see. What does Amanda not love that is pink? Strawberry ice cream. That's a good answer. Plus, says, I know the phrase going cold turkey, but it's the most self-destructive sentence ever. I think it depends, because for me, with alcohol, I wasn't entrenched in it enough that I could not go cold turkey. It was safe for me to go cold turkey, and I did talk to a professional about that. And based on the amount that I was having, the frequency, it was safe for me to do that. And my dad cold turkeyed 3 packs a day with cigarettes, even though he'd smoked from the time he was 12 to 55, and he was able to do that. But it's not safe for every drug, and it's not safe for every person. So to answer your former question were you asking what part of the brain is associated with addiction? Is that what you were asking? Because that would be the frontal lobe. That would be the frontal lobe that is associated with addiction. So if that was your question, then yes, there absolutely are ties. That there are studies that have proven that the frontal lobe is associated with addiction. JD, the Tails backpack, but paired with a schoolgirl outfit and pigtails. Aaron says that's a much larger donation. Britney Spears. Oh, I do still have the Britney Spears outfit from Halloween a couple of years ago, Aaron. That would be for Amanda's Amanda Meets World TV show. So now we have Forensically Blonde and Amanda Meets World. It would be for your benefit. I don't need a bunch of crazy college kids hitting on me. That would not benefit me. Mental Marx's joke of the day. I'm getting my wife a real expensive gift for Valentine's Day, a dozen eggs. Yeah. I was talking to, so I had dinner with Scotty last night. For those of you that don't know, Scotty was, when I first met him, he was homeless about a decade ago. And then I helped him get off the street. He adopted 2 of my foster dogs. Oh goodness, we have to be wrapping up. And we've known each other for about a decade now, and he's really grown and flourished. And I went out to dinner with him last night, and he had said that when he was working before he fell and broke his hip last January, when he was working, he went to get a sandwich at Subway, and it was $6. And literally the next day, he went in and got the exact same sandwich, and they said it was $12. And he told him, you can keep your sandwich. I'm not paying double the price. He even had his receipt on him and said, it was $6 yesterday. Why is it $12 today? Well, there's a little bit of inflation. Doubling the price is not a little bit of inflation. Oh, as he says, bring Scotty on one day. That would be a cool episode. That's a great idea. I'll see if he wants to do that at some point. Scotty is like my dad also in the sense that he is very outspoken, very opinionated, does not give an F what anyone thinks. But yes, I actually have to get going because I have to get to that doctor's appointment. So if you have any last minute questions, pledges, or snaps, please let me know. I will give it about another minute or two. Og Dog Gaming says, I've tried to quit smoking 1,000 times, but I live in a toxic household, so it's either smoke or go fisticuffs. That's how I felt most strongly with Coke, honestly, that I can't cope without this. Like it's my coping mechanism. It grounds me, it calms me, it helps me, it gives me what I need to get through the day. And I'm here to tell you that you don't. There are many, many other healthy skills that you can use to get through that. You just have to want it bad enough. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to heal? How bad do you want to get past it? Like I said, my dad smoked from 12 to 55 and definitely lived in very stressful situations sometimes. But can you imagine 13-year-old me with my NSYNC obsession? Papered the walls, just completely wallpapered the walls with NSYNC all day, every day. Imagine an elderly man having to listen to NSYNC all day, every day. Obviously, I'm Half kidding, but in all seriousness, there's always a way. There's always a way. I believe in you. I know that there's a way that you can get past it. And I can't wait to hear your last cigarette. I can't wait to hear about the day you said, you know what, I deserve better. Toxic environment aside, I understand stress better than most people. I understand that drive to turn to something to cope with said stress. I get it, and I don't want to downplay that or diminish that, but I want to tell you that you're stronger than you believe, and you have so many more skills. There's so many more skills out there that you can definitely do it. So I can't wait to hear about it. Lassie says, I quit smoking by not smoking a whole cigarette at a time, maybe go from a pack a day to 2 to 3 packs a week in a month. See, yeah, sometimes just finding ways to cut back is a great step in that direction. Have a good doctor's appointment. Thank you. Francisco says, thank you for everything. Thank you for being here. I smoked for a while, and it's so weird for me to say. I look back and go, what? That doesn't resonate with my personality or with my goals or with what I want to do. And I just go, God, did I smell like that? And when I quit smoking, tasting food was phenomenal, because I remember when I smoked, I had to just drown everything in salt to get any type of taste, because it just ruins your taste buds. And that was the most amazing part of quitting, was going, oh my God, this food has flavor. But yes, I have to go. Let's see. I think we are pretty darn close to the goal. We're right on the cusp of the goal. So thank you so much for all of that support and for making sure that that we're growing and that we're able to expand the outreach, that we're able to do more and more. I appreciate you guys so much. Metal Marks is in sync all day. God have mercy. I can do it, no problem. The only problem I ever had was when one of my friends, my best friend that went through the NSYNC phase with me, put the same song on repeat for 10 hours. Now it's my second favorite NSYNC song, but good grief, by the end of that 10 hours, I was so burnt out. Aw, David says, happy birthday, Jared. I think that made us hit our, yes, thank you, David, we hit it. I love you guys so much. I love you, and I will see you soon. Mwah.